Alright, so, hello and welcome back to another Windsor Academy episode. I'm James, one of the founders and leaders of the Bad Omen Guild community thingy here on European Ragnarok Online, together with my wife, Solemnus. Say hello.
Hello.
There we go. This will be the Blacksmith guide. As you can see, we're a level 60 blacksmith. We're sitting in Alberta, which is the hometown of... No, actually it's not, it's the merchant hometown. The hometown of Smiths is Einbruch, one of those funny named towns. Anyway, so, well, just diving right into it really. Gear-wise, two-handed axe will suffice. You can pick it up here in Alberta, which is why we're sitting here. For I think it's like 37k or something like that. Armor, most things will do for leveling really. Again, my picker hairband. The one item I advocate for more than climate change. Yeah, it does wonders for you. Attack speed, movement speed, cast speed for whatever reason. Stats wise, I love my agility builds. So we have a little bit of vitality because we don't have super high dodge. We have 60-ish agility. We have about 35 to 40 strength, and about the same dexterity. And then as you level up, I would leave vitality at 20-25, I would get agility up to like 80-90, and strength and dexterity 40-50-ish. Skill wise, most of these skills are passives. There's only a few, well, there's a couple that are a must-have for leveling in my opinion. So we're gonna get to those, but we'll just do it from top left to bottom right really. Iron tempering. This is for forging. A lot of these skills are. So unless you're planning on forging, you can just use the ones you need for prereqs to get the active. You see the active ones are the ones that aren't white, basically. Blue and this one. So yeah, you can read on what it does. It's to be able to create iron, like the material iron. Next one is hilt binding. Now this is actually pretty good, no matter what. I mean, it is a prereq, I believe. Yeah, it is a prereq anyways, you're gonna need it, but it basically gives you strength, attack, and longer duration of your battle skills. Skin tempering, this is actually worth maxing out once you've maxed out your battle skills, due to the, like, it's a passive skill that adds resistance to fire and neutral, so that's pretty cool. 5 levels, and you can just slap some points in there when you have points over. Hammerfall, this is one of your active skills. Now this skill is absolutely awesome. Not only does it upset the environment and annoy the hell out of other people around you, and make you, like, give you a tiny headache, but if you get too many mobs on you at the same time, you can just spam this a little bit to stun them all to be able to get away, or if you're having trouble hitting something, you can stun it to be able to hit it, because a stun mob cannot dodge. Anything that says smith on it really here can be avoided and just ignored unless you're planning on being a forger. Blacksmiths can forge weapons. I mean, what you could do, right, if you're playing if you're solo and you're planning on not really, you don't have a lot of money, you don't have this and that, blah blah blah, you can go all the way down to, let's see, where's can you smith 200 axe? It should be smith axe, right? Yeah, it must be smith axe. Yeah. So what you want to get then is smith axe, because we're using axes. So if you max this out, now the thing is, I wouldn't really advise trying to forge unless you have forging stats, which is like, I think it's dex and luck. I could be mistaken though, but I believe it is. Then you could forge your own weapon, like elemental weapons, like fire 200 axe, wind 200, and so forth. So I mean, there is an alternative to doing, like, you can, if you have friends of the other classes, you can just smith weapons for them as well. So yeah, these smithing thingies, they don't provide anything except the ability to create weapons of elemental and stronger weapons. So, moving on. Steel tempering, it's just like iron tempering except for being able to create steel. Now you will need these two if you want to forge things. But again, if you're not, then you can just ignore it. It doesn't really do much. It's a prereq for, yeah, for ore discovery. Anyway. Enchanted Stonecraft. This allows you to transform 10 Wind of Virtunes, for example, into a... hang on, Rough Wind, that's the one. the high...
Elemental stones.
Exactly. It allows you to craft elemental stones out of lower tier elemental stones. Again, if you're forging, this is a... I'm not gonna say must-have, but it's definitely useful. Weapon research. Now, this is actually more than what it says. This adds a hidden bonus of damage when you're attacking.
And hit.
And hit, sorry, thank you for that. So, honestly, after getting skin tempering, but first you should max all of your active skills, of course. But otherwise, skin tempering and weaponry research are really great places to park your skill points if you're not a forger. I mean, if you're a forger, you should have it anyway because it adds forging, but you might, since it doesn't actually say that it adds attack and hit, but it actually does, so it is worth getting. Now we're gonna get to your bread and butter skills. Adrenaline Rush. This skill is absolute badass, okay? Now, it does the same thing at any level except the duration, right? So I'm gonna show what it looks like. Adrenaline Rush, you see my attack speed is 167. If you click it, you get 177. It is absolutely awesome. It makes you hit so much faster. Definitely a must-have for leveling. I would suggest maxing it because your mana bar, sorry, SP bar is low as a smith, and it costs quite a bit of SP. I mean, it costs like over 10% of your SP pool to cast, so you don't really want to be spamming this if you only have it level 1. Obviously pick a level 1 as fast as you can, and then, you know, gradually increase it. Ore discovery, pretty good if you're new. It gives you the like the chance to randomly find all kinds of ore, metal, refining materials and so forth when you're killing monsters, even if the monsters doesn't actually drop these items. So definitely a well worth 1 pointer if you ask me. Research Iridicon. This improves your forging success rate as well when you're doing it with the Iridicons. I'm not sure if this gives you attack or not. I don't believe it does, unlike weaponry research.
No.
So yeah, this is just for forging. Repair weapon, definitely worth having. If you're gonna have it, then you should put it at level 3 because the weapons you're using are level 3 and you need 1 steel. If a monster breaks your weapon, for example, or you break it, we'll get to that. Level 3 is a must-have because you can see like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 have different requirements because weapons are divided into 4 classes. This is weapon level 3. You can read this in the tooltip by basically just expanding it like this, and then you'll see weapon level 3. Usually you won't really use level 4 weapons unless you're higher level or a veteran player because they're more expensive and harder to get, and you can't buy them in the shop usually. At least not to my knowledge anyway. The next one, Weapon Perfection. Now this one is really great as well. See, when you use it, it looks like this. Now what this does is weapons do different percentages depending on the size of the monster. Now this could sound a bit confusing, but I'll give you an example. Daggers, for example, they do 100% to small, they do 75% to medium, and 50% damage to large monsters. But if you have Weapon Perfection, it will do 100% to all sizes, and the same thing goes for axes. Axes is, as far as I know, just like daggers, except the other way around. It does more damage to large and medium and less damage to small, which is kind of strange considering how you're wielding a huge fucking axe. You should just annihilate anything that is tiny. But again, Weapon Perfection is great here because it will basically make sure you deal 100% damage to all sizes. Now, I'm getting a bit unsure about the percentages, but the point is this is a great thing to have to make sure you deal full % damage to all sizes with your weapons. Power Thrust. Now this is why you should have Repair Weapon. If you look at what it does, at level 5 it gives you 25% extra attack damage, which is absolute beast. It looks like this, and you get to be red and you have this shadow thing following you when you move. It looks pretty cool. But when you attack, you have a 0.1% chance of it says damaging, but that actually means breaking the weapon that you're wielding. Now, 0.1% doesn't sound like much, but if you're attacking 5 to 7 times a second, you'll break your weapon eventually, most likely. But don't
except for axe and mace weapons.
Yes.
They cannot break.
Exactly. Sorry about that. That is a good point to... Except axes and maces, which are unbreakable. Really? Are you sure?
You cannot break axes and maces with power thrust.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, anyways, so thank you for that, sweetheart. The last one on our list here is maximize power. This one is actually really good as well. Now this drains a lot of SP very quickly. As you can see at level 1, it drains 1 SP per 1 second. At level 5, it's 1 SP every 5 seconds. Now what this does, it looks like this. Pretty cool. Now all of these are just like you activate them. It's not actual, except for Hammerfall, which you can spam on the ground. Now what maximize damage does, maximize power. For example, when you hit, say that you hit between 150 and 200, like the damage calculation picks a number between those two depending on defense, depending on if it's a glancing hit and so forth. If you have maximized power, you will always deal the maximum damage per hit. So if your maximum is 205 and your minimum is 150, every hit is going to do 205 as long as this buff is up. In other words, it is really, 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 really good. This one, advanced, if you're soul linked, that means you can use Adrenaline Rush with other weapons as well, except for bows. Not really sure why you'd want to do that, but okay. So yeah, that concludes the skill section. I mean, there are oh sorry, I forgot to mention these two. This is a quest, and you should probably do this as soon as possible. I should have actually started with this, I guess. It's called Greed. What this basically does is, if you click Greed, you will automatically pick up all items within 2 cells of you. So 2 cells would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, basically, right? Around yourself in a circle, instead of having to like bend down and pick up each item separately. It costs some SP.
You can do the quest with job level 30.
Oh, you have to be 30 to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So thank you again for that. See, this is why you complete me. You know these things. So yeah, once you job level 30, you can do this, and I would highly suggest doing it, because if you're killing a lot of monsters and the floor is packed with loot, clicking one thing at a time, it is just so annoying. Dubious salesmanship. Since we're not really going to be using Memmonite, I would not put much time into this unless for some reason you enjoy wasting money. It basically, Memmonite is a merchant skill, and it gives you 600% damage for 1000 Ceni on your next hit. You can spam it, it does quite a bit of damage, but if you're a new player, you're not really, I mean, it's gonna stack up pretty fast, so, but yeah, otherwise this will reduce the cost by 10%. So, yeah, so that's that for now. We're gonna go to Orc Dungeon, I'm gonna show you what some stuff looks like in action. Sweetheart, can we go to Orc Dungeon? I'll meet you in Orc Dungeon, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, while we get there... I'm sorry if you can hear that, that's my cat. So we're just gonna take the Kafra to Orc Dungeon, right? Now, here's an evil orc here. Oh yes, I forgot to say, awakening potions are your friend. So, as you can see here, right, we have 2, we have 3. Now, if we hammerfall here, I only have it level 1. If I had higher level, as you can see, they get stunned, and I can run away. See? Oh, this is slow. However, if we activate Adrenaline Rush, it's much faster. Now, you can see the damage here, 250, like, it varies, right? But if we put on maximize power, it's always going to be 253. Yeah. So let's just look for something else. Now, oh god, that's a lot of mobs. Right. As you can see, 200. Yeah. So if we do weapon perfection, the damage just increased a little bit, and we keep maximum power up. Now we're up to 310 per hit. And lastly, power thrust, 327 per hit. That's a big difference, right? Now you can take this one step further. See how easy this is? I mean, I am level 60, but I have no special gear. I mean, the Peko Peko hairband helps, but I love playing axe thingy. It's so nice. Now if we go down to, do you have Aspersius, sweetheart? If we go down to Orc Dungeon, show the power of having all the buffs on and asperse you at the same time. Now, weapon elements, for example, you could like get this effect by having a fire axe. So let's just equip. We have all of our buffs on now. So we're doing very nice, 400 damage per hit. Now, granted, these are a bit lower level, but can you give me blessing and Adja, please? Now I'm almost out of SP because, well, the buff.
I can give you.
Yeah. What I would suggest, if you're leveling a blacksmith, you should get yourself an Earth Deleter card in an armor. Now, Earth Deleter will give you 10 SP back every time you kill a monster with a physical attack. Now, granted, you drain every 5 seconds you drain 1 SP. Sorry, yeah. Now, if you kill a mob every 50 seconds, you will go even with this skill, with Earth Deleter card. And if you kill faster than that, you will gain SP. So, highly recommend it, because it will solve your SP problems. And they're so cheap. I mean, I think we have like 50, so if you need one, we'll just give you one. Or 40 maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, that's the blacksmith guy. Oh yeah, by the way, you have a cart. You can go rent a cart from when you're a merchant, and then you can just place potions or useless items, or I don't know, whatever you want really. Once you hit 85, you can use berserk pots, sorry. So yeah, that's pretty much how I would level and play a blacksmith, I believe. I mean,
But you could also go for a Wit build with card revolution and AoE everything.
yeah, but that's gonna be a lot more expensive for a new player though.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
if you're a veteran player, what she's saying is a good idea as well. But I would also get some agility, because card revolution is based off your attack speed, isn't it? Like spam ability, I guess. I mean, most skills are, so. But yes, otherwise her idea is solid. So yeah, guys, a little bit of a shorter one. I mean, it's not even 20 minutes, but it should give you the down low on how to do it and why you should do it and why you shouldn't, and you know, shit like that. So thank you from us for today, or for now anyway. So yeah, let us know what you think, if this was helpful to you in any way, or you know, if you appreciate what we're doing. Don't be afraid to hit that follow button or even the subscribe button. Anything is greatly appreciated, and we would love to hear from you, or you have your feedback. So until next time, take care, and thank you very much for watching. So bye.
Bye.